Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to up there? I'd rather it get back to landscape though.
Okay.
It's just gonna be easier to work with.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah,
Like,
that makes
I don't
sense. Hi everyone, welcome back. So last month I did the first bullet journal setup where I focused less on drawing and painting, and I did a little bit of a real-time kind of collage thing, and I actually really liked how it worked out. I felt that it was really colorful. In case you wanted to catch a glimpse, this is what it looked like, and honestly, every time I opened my bullet journal, it just made me so happy to see all of these bright colors and fun stickers. And it was a lot more time efficient because right now things are extremely busy, and I don't have the same amount of time to dedicate towards bullet journal setups right now. So just gonna go with it and do it again for November. So let's get to it. I wasn't sure if I was gonna make it to November in this book. If COVID hadn't happened, I actually think I would have run out a lot sooner, but there were a couple of weeks there where I didn't really use my bullet journal as much as I had been in the beginning of the year. So we've got a couple of pages left. This is going to be reserved for the last week of October, and then I'm going to do November, and then November might end up being a little bit of a squish. I don't actually know, because November is going to be a very busy month, so I don't know how I'm going to handle that, but I also don't want to waste these final pages, so I think I'm just going to go with it and deal with it when I run out of pages. So, okay. I don't have a plan. I'm just gonna kind of chat, attempt to multitask, talk, and work on this. And I'm giving myself a time limit of, 30, 45 minutes to do this, so we'll see how that goes. The first thing I'm gonna do is try to figure out how to use some of this stunning wrapping paper. I think I'm just gonna go pick, and it's actually double-sided, so first I'm gonna have to decide which side I want to use. And I can't decide if I want to do this or if I want to do something like this. Let's go with this big flower. It's really pretty, isn't it? Oh, but it's super long. Indecision. Okay, let's just go with where the... I'm gonna start by actually just cutting the whole thing out, and then I'll go from there. So I really love saving pretty wrapping paper. I'll probably use some of this in some of my thank you cards that I'm running low on, so I'm gonna have to do a couple more of those either later this weekend or possibly in the future. I don't know if it's gonna happen. So got an exciting weekend planned. It's my mom's birthday, and so we're gonna do after this we're gonna head out and get her a cake and some dinner from her favorite place. So one of her favorite cakes is Black Forest cake, and a couple of years, actually it was more than a couple of years ago, a few years ago, Mike got me a class at the George Brown. It's like a culinary school in Toronto, and it was like a level 1 baking class that unlocks other baking classes that you can take with professional chefs. And so it was really cool. And in the fundamentals class, one of the things that we learned how to bake was Black Forest cake. And prior to making that Black Forest cake, I actually was not really a big fan because all of the Black Forest cakes I had eaten were like from the grocery store, using like, you know, that sort of cherry filling that you can get in a can, and kind of plasticky tasting whipped cream and things like that. And so when I made the cake and brought it over to my parents, my mom was so excited, and that's when she told me that Black Forest cake was actually one of her favorite cakes. And so I filed that away, and for the last few birthdays I've been baking Black Forest cake. And actually one of my colleagues is German, and he shared his German Black Forest cake recipe with me a few years ago as well. And it felt very authentic because it was in German, and I had to plug it into Google Translate in order to actually like understand what to buy. And anyway, I'm digressing a lot. But as a side note, I didn't have all the ingredients that I needed for that. So anyway, but I made that cake a couple of times, and the first time I made it, it was a hit, and it turned out so well. And then last year I made it using the same recipe, and it just did not turn out well. I don't know if maybe my oven was off, or I'm not really sure why, but for whatever reason it was a bit of a disaster. And so I think this year I thought I would try getting a cake made, and I'm getting it from this local bakery called Tres Marie. I got a cake from them delivered to my brother-in-law earlier this year, and apparently the cake was a hit. So we're gonna try this Black Forest cake out, and I will report back on how that tasted, but I expect it will be delicious. Plus, I get to support a local bakery, and that is always a good thing. So that is today. And then tomorrow, I am planning on going for my usual long run with Mike. We don't run together as often as we used to, thanks to COVID, but we have been trying to keep our Sunday long runs back on the schedule. So that is something that we are planning on doing tomorrow, which I'm very excited for. It's autumn over here, which means all the leaves have changed color, and we're actually planning on doing a run in Sunnybrook Park, and we were there last year around this time, and it's just stunning in there because all the trees have different colors this time of the year. It's just a really beautiful leafy place to be at this time of the year, so I'm really looking forward to that. And October in general has been quite a month. Okay, hold on, I'm just gonna see how this looks. So I think I'm gonna do that. Before I do, I think I'm gonna put something on the back. So let's see. Still have some of this tissue. I actually have some of this. I'm just gonna go with this again. I really liked how this turned out last time. How do you think that's gonna look? I'm not really feeling it. Yeah, let's try that. Okay, so I've completely lost my train of thought, but I think what I was saying was that October was a really busy month, and I've have some really big updates, but part of me is a little afraid to say what they are, just because I don't know, maybe it's a little bit of like, I just want to make sure everything works out before I say something. So it might not be until next month's update before I can really be less vague. And I don't know if any of you remember like the days of when blogging was kind of the thing that everybody did instead of like create videos, and there was this kind of saying called vague blogging, and that's exactly what I'm doing right now, where I'm kind of talking about something and I'm not really talking about it. So I'm sorry, but all will be revealed in a future video. So let's see. I'm gonna do this now. So a couple of exciting things with my shop. I've recently started, or I don't know how do you say it. I've recently got 2 new Stockists. So one of them is a hair studio in Stouffville, Ontario. The owner reached out to me on Instagram, and as soon as I saw her page, or saw photos of her page, I was like, yes, this looks like a really good fit. She's a really beautiful little boutique, and I was really excited about the idea of having her carry my candles. So I made a batch and sent it off to her, and she actually told me that within not long after she announced that my candles were carried, she said she sold like a few right away, and so that was really unexpected but super exciting, and I was really happy to hear that. So that was a really exciting piece of news. And then the other stockist that I'm extremely excited about is this local Toronto flower shop that I have been a big fan of for a very long time. And so my sister and I actually used to take sewing lessons in the Junction, this neighborhood that my sister lives in. And on the way to those sewing lessons, I would always see this flower shop, and unfortunately it'd be closed by the time we got there, but I'd always kind of peek into the window and just really like be in awe of how beautiful it was. And so my sister knew this, and I actually have bought a couple of things from her store, but for my birthday, that was a couple of weeks ago, my sister had a bouquet of her flowers delivered to me, and long story short, I tagged her on Instagram with a photo, and she came to my online store, and asked if I would be open to doing some wholesale. I don't always, I'm usually a little bit hesitant to do wholesale because I am like a one-person shop and I do work full-time, so it's not always realistic for me, but I just could not say no when she asked me, because I just love her store. And so so the last couple weeks have been really busy just getting ready for those 2 orders, and I also had this lovely person reach out to me who bought a bunch of candles as bridesmaids gifts. And so that was really fun, because I wouldn't have known that that's what it was for when I saw her order come through, had I not reached out to her just to thank her for her purchase. And so when I thanked her, she wrote back and said, well, this is the reason why I bought it. And then we were able to work out some custom packaging where I was able to add gift tags for each of her bridesmaids. So that was really fun, and I'm looking forward to her getting those in the mail. So it's been a really busy time, but I am absolutely not complaining. In fact, I'm thrilled that I was able to get some of those out. Okay. I don't know if you can hear that my dog has followed me into the den. It's really cute. You can hear his little paws following me around, and I really love it. I already talked about the wholesale orders and the bridesmaid order. As I think I mentioned, but it was also my birthday, so that was really nice. The weather was still nice enough that I was able to have a very small get-together with my family. So my direct family, like my parents and my sister and her family. So I requested a ice cream cake from Dairy Queen, which is this like local, I don't know, it's not really the fanciest, to be honest, but I have a soft spot for them. It just reminds me of, I don't know, happy memories being a kid.
What is it, nut? Say hello.
I love these. You'll probably see me using these a lot because I bought this little Year of Tiny Pleasures calendar at the beginning of 2019, and I just fell in love with it. And I've been saving, every time I would rip them off, I would save them because I just didn't want to get rid of them. But they ended up just sitting around for a really long time because I didn't know what to do with them. And so what I actually like to do now is, if you ever get a thank you card from me, you might see some of these. I'll usually cut them out and use them in like letters that I send or in my own journal. I just think it's a really nice way to reuse these this beautiful art that other artists have put together for this calendar, and it makes me feel better than just having recycled it or just letting it sit and pile up. I love this, a pen bouquet. Got some fun stuff cut out. And now start with this.